This is VSiN, the sports betting network.
Follow the money.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on VSiN.
Here we go. Welcome in. Follow the Money on VSiN, the sports betting network. Mitch Moss along with Paulie Howard. We are live in downtown Vegas. Circa Resort and Casino is your spot. And the definition of a 3-hour banger on the way today. Jeff Borzello, ESPN, on the World Cup coming up in 30 minutes. Mike Palm, Steve Wiss on the show later on in the World Cup as well. Anthony Irwin on the NBA offseason, in particular the Los Angeles Lakers. And Paul Stone, we're going to start college football previews with him today. He'll look at the AAC with best bets coming up in 90 minutes. And we want a lot of your reaction as well. You can get in touch. The best couple of ways to do so during the show on X, at VSiN Live, at Mitch Moss Radio, at Paulie Howard. Email is always open, ftm@vsin.com. We're pretty much all thinking the same thing. And the game's been over now for a little bit shy of 24 hours. But the question is still ruminating, like, setting the country on fire. How the hell was that a red card? Don't know. Now, some people have made the case in the last, give or take 20 hours, that by the letter of the law, it is a red card. But they are very few and far between. I don't want to sound like the complete arrogant Johnny flag waving homer here. But that question has to be asked. And I know this. We have the answer to this question, and that is, what if Messi did that? Would he get a red card? Not only would he not get a red card, he won't get a yellow card. And what he did was worse.
Yep.
And yet USA gets completely bent over last night with that rule. I don't know how they did that, Paul.
That run we experienced last night on the air before one of the worst trades in NBA history, if you watched the end of the Senegal match and watched USA, if you tap out on the sport, I don't blame you and say I can't do it. Also, what happened to home field advantage? You think that's going to happen Sunday in Mexico? There's no chance. They'd riot and kill the ref if that happened. As we said at the end of the Senegal match, stay out of the way. Don't decide this. There's too much on the line. The other thing is, as Grant Paulson, who's been on the show many times and covers the Commanders, said, this is like the death sentence for a speeding ticket. The penalty is already he's out for the second half. Now he's out for the Belgium match.
Oh, yeah, only their best player.
Yeah, and it's an accident, and it wasn't even called on the field. So, again, hardcore soccer fans saying this, that VAR is doing a lot of damage to this sport. The best quote I have seen thus far is VAR is supposed to correct clear and obvious errors, not turn every 50-50 duel into a courtroom trial. Every time a ref is dragged to the monitor, the game loses part of its soul. And the other thing is we cannot have replays in super, super slow motion as well.
And by the way, that's in the VAR protocols. And I'm glad Taylor Twellman got this in the rule book and tweeted it out. Here you go. In the fine print, in general, slow motion replay should be used for facts, e.g. position of offense/player, point of contact for physical offenses, and handball, ball out of play, including goal, no goal. Normal speed should be used for the intensity of an offense or to decide if it was a handball offense. Normal speed. And so when they go to the VAR and they're going to slow it down like that, you know what the decision's going to be, but you can't. This is like what we've been saying for years in the NFL with like the physics and the roughing the passer stuff. My God, what are we doing here? Use your brain with something like that. 90% of the time, I'm throwing out roughly here, 90%, it's never going to be roughing the passer because you can't control your body and how you're going to come at the quarterback as a defender. Then you land on the guy at the same time. This was completely inadvertent.
Yes. What's he supposed to do with his foot?
Yeah.
A lot of people saying this too. You lose credibility. You absolutely do as a sport. 2 goals disallowed. The offsides will set aside. We'll attack that for another day. But just the frustration of what we've seen in this where, I mean, people want to buy in and watch, but this is why you won't approach NFL with crap like this.
Yeah.
And it's the penalty is outrageous. For him to miss the second half, we have to play a man down, and now he misses the Belgium match, and you cannot appeal. Can't appeal, but then there actually could be harsher penalties coming down.
It could get worse for him. Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, and this will tell you again. So I'm watching the match live like everybody else with my wife. And as it's unfolding, I'm telling her in real time what the red card, the potential of the red card is going to mean. And that is he's going to have to miss the rest of this match, and they cannot replace him. And then, by the way, he's going to miss the next match. She thought that I was BSing her the entire time. She couldn't understand it. Like, that's the dumbest thing that she's ever heard. And you brought up Grant Paulson, radio host in Washington, D.C., who's been on the show many times, and he admitted, like, he's not a soccer diehard. And then a soccer diehard got back to him and basically said, clearly accidental, but it was definitely a red card. And Paulson said, I will defer to you. I assume you're right. Mm-hmm. I can't stress this enough. If that foul was worth playing 11 on 10 for a third of the game and losing your best player for the next game, I just can't get into the sport.
Yep. I don't blame him.
Can't do it.
If that's your reaction, I don't blame you either. And also how many goals have been disallowed as well. I got no problem with that. Kylan Mills, per FIFA rules, a yellow card is awarded for a reckless challenge, tripping, tackling, grabbing, interfering during play. A red card is given for a serious or dangerous foul that goes beyond what a yellow card would merit. Punching, kicking, headbutting, spitting. It was not egregious, shouldn't have been straight red.
Sure.
And it also, the number one thing on the search engine on social media was people looking up what's a red card as well.
Right.
So, but they also did a bad job on the broadcast explaining the ramifications of what happened as well. Once that happened, it's okay. Well, we're down, but he can't play against Belgium.
Well, and this was the takeaway from their rules analyst, Mark Clattenburg, giving his thoughts on the red card at that time.
The problem you've got is, to reach a criteria of the red card, there has to be some speed, there has to be some force, and there has to be some malice. This lacked that. But what it does have, which is what the element of the VAR is hiding behind, is it endangers the safety of the opponent because of that foot-on-foot challenge, which could have acted and ended with a broken ankle. So what they've done is they've looked at the consequence of the challenge. However, in my opinion, this didn't endanger the safety of the opponent. Balogun doesn't even look for the foul. It's one of them where it happens in a split second. He puts his foot down and catches the opponent. It was an accidental challenge. And for me, this did not reach the criteria of a red card. And it shouldn't have been a VAR intervention.
Yeah, let's use our brain here again.
Good job. There was also a referee who used to work in the Premier League and said the Messi play was much worse.
I know, because he said his cleats were up.
Uh-huh.
And then you can come all the way down like that. And then when it happened last night for Team USA, the foot was already down. So it's like it makes sense again, because you can bring your force all the way down like that, like Messi did. And isn't it funny with the superstar treatment that he gets in the first match overall, and not even a yellow card, Paul, not even a yellow card. And last night's result was a red card when it was a total accident.
Back to what you said with common sense, and you're trying to take out the violence in a violent game with the NFL. These guys are running full speed. There was a big forearm shiver by a Bosnian player. How about the clutching and grabbing and holding jerseys? How about the Balogun, if would have flopped, would have got a penalty.
Oh, I retweeted this earlier today.
Yeah, they knocked him down. They grabbed his jersey. If he would have embellished, he would have got the call.
Sure.
They're holding and clutching for 2 hours, nothing.
And no call there. I mean, the defender for Bosnia is reached out like this. He's got his jersey, and he cannot make his progress. There's no flow allowed there, and he's impeding what he's trying to do on the pitch. Nothing. How do they miss that? It's right there.
Yeah.
Your eyeballs have to be on that as the focal point of what's going on the pitch at that time. And as, you know, when we're watching that Belgium match yesterday against Senegal, I'm thinking in my head, okay, when Belgium came back and they won the match, I thought that's a good thing for the U.S. because to me, Senegal was clearly the better team yesterday. I think Senegal is better than Belgium anyway. And I'm thinking they caught a break against Belgium. Oh, now they get no break whatsoever.
Oh, there's a big step up in competition Monday. These guys are top 10. But it's going to be difficult, and we'll see if we can overcome it. Arash Markazi, a staff member for Team USA, has a collection of photos on his phone showing fouls against them worse than Balogun's red card today. None of those were fouls, he said. They're outraged. They're livid. They should be.
Yep.
Pochettino as well. I mean, it's like there's no way that should be a red card. And how they get it, that's a big thing, though, too. I understand the superstar treatment. How about some little home cooking? That's, you know what people are watching and want to see. If any chance we could make it to the Final Four or the final, I mean, maybe these approach Super Bowl numbers. Who knows? We play Turkey, nothing's on the line, and 17 million people watch.
Paul, can you imagine? Now, this sounds crazy, but can you imagine what it would be if we would get USA and Mexico in the finale? That is the ultimate dream scenario. And then, unfortunately, it'd be played at MetLife, which would completely stink.
Yeah.
But I cannot even fathom if we would get that kind of a break going in. But there's also this, Dallin Cuff, who's been on this show several times every week throughout the course of the World Cup, also on a numbers game. He was on earlier today talking about the red card and how it was egregious in his opinion.
That's an egregious red. By the laws of the game and how it's defined, there are words like brutality, serious foul play, attempt to injure, violent conduct. None of that was there. In all honesty, the challenge came from Flo's back. Like, he can't even see what's happening there. And as he's trying to fight, yes, the defender gets around him, his leg, he's off balance. His foot has to come down somewhere, okay? He's off balance. The guy's coming from behind him. He doesn't even see him, and then he gets red carded for it. This is where VAR is flawed. If you see it in slow-mo and you break it down, you create something out of nothing. That is, if anybody's played the game, that was a kind of an innocuous challenge in the fact that he didn't try to do it. If you want to give him a yellow for it, okay, I'll give you that. A straight red, and I think one of your tweets said, I mean, it's ludicrous. It was an absurd final call. And when you look at not just the Messi play, okay, I know that you just want to draw the comparison and FIFA fixes things for Messi. He made a challenge. And when I watched that game, I watched that live, I go, ooh, that's not good. And I couldn't believe he didn't even get a yellow. I thought he should. I mean, I thought they were going to review it. They didn't do anything. And now you can say it's because Messi, but the difference is, guys, is he was running to make a challenge. In a late one at that, he put his heel up and raked down the guy's calf to foot, similar to Balogun, but his was intending to make a tackle.
I agree with him.
Oh, that's A+.
That is.
I think that's excellent.
Yep, it's great.
Yes.
Now, in terms of betting, we saw, I mean, how did they open up $1.50 against Bosnia?
That was a horrible number.
Yeah, clearly.
Because you know where the money's going.
Absolutely. And now it opened up basically a flat pick'em last night against Belgium. Well, he's not going to be able to play, and now USA is still taking money. And I would assume they're going to keep taking money over the weekend.
They take money against Spain, probably.
They might.
People don't care what the price is. It's USA fever.
At some point, this sucks. I think there's going to be value on Belgium.
Yes.
So, yeah, up next, there are so many ways to hate this trade for Boston, and the worst part might be this. I'll explain next here on VSiN.
Racetrack Television Network brings you every race, from every track, on every screen, every day. With monthly packages starting as low as $5, RTN gives you great value and access to more live HD streaming and race replays than anyone. Visit RTN.tv today to sign up and watch on almost any device, including Roku and Amazon Fire. Use promo code TRYRTN for a 5-day free trial.
This is VSiN, a network of sports betting analysts, writers, hosts, and handicappers, all here to help you become a more confident bettor. We broadcast live every day from Las Vegas, the sports betting capital of the world, and from studios across the country, giving you insight from every angle of the action. Take VSiN with you wherever you go with the VSiN Watch app, or catch us on streaming platforms and regional sports networks. You can also listen live on SiriusXM Channel 158 and on radio stations nationwide. Check out VSiN.com as well for betting tools, exclusive betting splits, AI-powered player prop projections from Opta, pro picks for every game, plus in-depth betting guides and articles built to give you an edge. From sharp betting analysis and daily best bets to insider interviews and expert breakdowns, VSiN is your trusted source for everything happening in the world of sports betting. See everything we have to offer at VSiN.com and become part of the Sports Betting Network.
Coming up on Friday's episode of Money Moves, Stormy's got an in-depth breakdown of the Nathan's Famous hot dog eating contest. Loves this prop. We'll tell you how to play it, where you can find it, and more. Plus, we were hunting around for a number on this player to win an award. Well, guess what? We found it. So we'll tell you where you can get it and how you can play it coming up on Friday. Plus, a trio of knockout games in the World Cup and a monster slate in Major League Baseball. There's an interesting mispricing in this market. We'll tell you what it is. So don't miss it. It's Money Moves, 11 to 1 Pacific, 2 to 4 Eastern, only on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Spain still leading here in this round of 32 match 1-0. They play in the 53rd minute. I know a very popular bet in this match, VSiN.com, Alex Blowers, Nigel Seeley, Spain to win to 0, which before the match turned into a little bit of plus money. They have that. This is, again, you can tweet the show always at VSiN Live, at Mitch Moss Radio, at Paulie Howard. This is from Joe to Fan, huge soccer fan on the East Coast. Where was Balogun's foot going to go based on the video that we all saw? It was not intentional, no blood, etc. Yes, it was possible, all caps, that the kid from Bosnia would possibly get hurt, but I doubt it. Happy 4th of July weekend. Back to you, Joe DeFan. Can't make that call.
It's like when I'm going to make a tackle, and the last second the quarterback slides. And then I bump him. And it's, right? Like you can't. There's just no way. Even Canadian TV called it diabolical and outrageous.
Did they?
Much like the Celtics trade.
Oh, it's getting worse, Paul.
I mean, I thought this was the guys. We talked to the professional eater yesterday. He gets off the air. The guys behind the glass are saying, trade Paul George for Jaylen Brown. I go, get out of here. There's no way that happened. And you read it, you had to look at it 4 times. It's like, this is real. And what did they do?
And then you realize what the picks are going to actually be. And there was a Keith Smith who covers, he's been on this show on the network again. He covers the NBA and the Celtics. He basically broke down all the picks. And at the very end of the tweet, he said, so Boston either comes away with a decent pick somewhere between 1 and 16 through a swap, or they pick up an extra pick. He said, basically, you have to root against the Clippers, Sixers, and the Spurs in 2028 if you're a Celtics fan. They have to now root against this core of the Sixers, which today they're a better team on paper. They also added Anthony Simons, by the way, than Boston, in my opinion. And you have to root against San Antonio to get a... You have to root against the Spurs? Oh, that seems like a good proposition to be that you need to have in pocket, with Wemby being 22 years old and all those other guys being like 22, 23, 24 years old. That's horrible. But also, when you really put it into perspective and go back and look, Anthony Amico on X, in 2017, the Celtics were lauded for... Remember, back then, they were thought of as like what OKC has been now for the last couple of years. Loaded roster, a war chest of assets. Tatum, Brown, Kyrie, Horford, Smart, Rozier, Hayward, a 2018 Laker pick, 2019 Clipper pick, 2019 Memphis pick. 10 years later, only Tatum remains. Kyrie, Hayward, Rozier left in free agency. None of those picks ever became anything. They
could have had any superstar they wanted. They would not give up those picks.
That's right.
They wouldn't make a trade. And now there's only one guy left. And they have butchered this going back.
Completely.
One title is unacceptable. And this was the best offer. Think about that. Although you could have had Giannis and you blew it there. And then there became bad feelings and what happened with that. But how
about the report that came Simmons today? Giannis's team wanted 3 years and 35% of the cap. Boston would go no more than 2 years and 30%.
Yeah, between that and you can't have Hugo. It's nonsense, right?
Oh, ridiculous.
But it also goes back to things have changed and how people look at this, and it's a horrible contract when you think about Jaylen Brown's got 3 years left and $180 million. So the Bobby Marks comments, and he wanted to tweet analytics 1, I test 0, but he didn't do it. It's fascinating between what you have with media and fans and what GMs and people in the league think about the guy and what type of player he is. They are 36-6 without him the last 3 years. He's negative on-off in his career. They've been outscored when he's been on the floor in his career as a Celtic. Also, you cannot make the comment. Like, when we were doing mornings, we were everywhere. The show was huge. The markets, right? If you go on vacation, I can't say if John Jastrzemski fills in. Boy, that was the most fun I've ever had. What a week after working with you for 8 years. Oh, that week was so fun. You cannot be a finals MVP and win the title. And that year and have that on your resume, and then you blow a 3-1 series lead for the first time in the history of the organization. You said, you know what? That's the most fun, enjoyable season I've ever had. There's no coming back from that. So whether he's a pain in the ass or it doesn't fit or they don't like the contract, whatever, there are reasons to say, oh my God, this was the best offer that they had. But even though, what's the rush? Why do it now? You got a guy on the second worst contract in the league who's injury prone and 36 years old, and Paul George. Outrageous, Boston.
Yeah, okay, so there's absolutely no chance then the Celtics could have sat down with him in the same room with, by the way, where's Tatum again? With Jason Tatum,
yes, right.
And they could not have had an adult conversation. right? I mean, you're making big boy money here. You're a huge part of this organization, and you did individually have your best season, I think, probably by a mile. And you're a former NBA Finals MVP. You couldn't hash it out? Like that was, okay, so that's gone. But I think what you're saying, though, Paulie, in suggesting is this is all they could get. Well, evidently, nobody else in the league was willing to give up more than this for him. And
maybe something else is going to happen. Maybe they turn those picks into Trey Murphy or something else. But if you're that close to Giannis and you couldn't get him, and now this was only offered in return. I mean, I know Raheem Palmer tweeted it kind of reminds him like of Iverson and what his value and what people thought of him with the usage, how much shots he takes and all that. But it's a great debate about what he averages a game, what he just accomplished, how good he is, but what fans and media think of him compared to people who work in the league. Yeah.
And now, I mean, according to other reports, are you buying this? The Celtics are absolutely all in on Peyton Pritchard. And I mean, take this for what it's worth, but there weren't one report today I suggested that they expect or they think that they can get like a Jalen Brunson type career arc out of him.
Well, he better get better. He better improve, and Hugo better be an all-star.
That's starting, by the way, Hugo Gonzalez starts night 1 next year. If we don't see him getting a minimum of 20 minutes, you completely whiffed. You can't possibly settle, and I'm using that word, and I hate to never settle for anything, right? The Celtics here settled for this. That's because they were unwilling to make that move for Giannis, which included Hugo Gonzalez. This is comedy. This is open mic night, Paul.
Something happened. Either there's going to be a story that comes out about behind the scenes, or something from ownership, or like Brian Windhorst kept saying that the feeling he's getting as people are questioning was made under duress. Like, why was it done now? Why did you have to do this right now? This trade was sitting there down the road.
Sure.
Why did you could have waited and maybe it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I mean, you could confidently say that the Sixers would have made this move in the middle of this month, at the end of this month, or before the season started.
Yeah.
No question.
Other teams have to look around and say, my God, this was it. Like the Lakers could have thrown some picks at him, evidently, and it would have worked.
I know they probably are in like full regret mode saying, oh boy, we actually would like to have that one back. Now there's also this, Windhorst has been everywhere doing a great job covering the offseason on Boston their feelings towards Derek White compared to Jaylen Brown.
Look, I just know that the Celtics felt that even though Jaylen Brown was talking about himself for MVP, or there was this MVP campaign for Jaylen Brown, the Celtics did not feel that Jaylen had the best season on their team. And I don't mean Jason Tatum. I'm talking about they felt that Derek White had a better season.
Despite the fact he had a poor shooting season.
I agree.
But they felt he impacted winning the most.
And the statistics that people use to analyze.
Yeah, on, off, and whatnot.
Said that.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you think? That's everywhere.
Then, if the stats say that, then you're relying on the numbers far too much.
Yeah.
I like Derek White. I'm like almost the president of his fan club. He's not as good as Jaylen Brown, period. That's the Hoop Collective podcast, by the way. I think that's an idiotic takeaway for an organization to have.
It's hard to get them away from their 36-6, though, without them the last 3 years. That's hard to get away from.
Well, how were they without Jason Tatum this year?
Sure, yeah.
You know, I mean,
yep.
Weren't they the 1 seed? I don't even remember. What were they in the Eastern Conference? They were the 2 seed.
Yes.
And they won, 56 games?
Their win total was 42. They won 56 games.
That's a pretty damn good year without, quote, their best player for a majority of it.
And I'm not there. I don't know. There's plenty of stuff that Missoula couldn't stand them. There's this other stuff, Colin Cowherd's comments making around. It's not racist. Aaron Rodgers does the same thing. He's a smart guy, but people do not like it when you think you're the smartest guy in the room and show arrogance and try to. Maybe there was some of that going on. I don't know.
Yeah, well,
but he is a smart guy, no doubt. But
and he has a high opinion of himself with that. Yeah,
right. But people are going to get sick of that too. But to do this, and whether it was cut payroll, we don't like the contract, whatever. But the Derek White thing, I'm with you on that. And the haul, or the lack thereof, the return is outrageous. Because you should have done a lot better than that, and the timing sucks as well, and you were this close to getting Giannis if you just would have agreed a little more money or another guy or player, whatever it would be, and then Giannis, according to one report, decided to pivot and say it's Miami now, that he wanted to go to Boston. You get it? Come on. 2-time MVP, NBA champ. What are you doing? Yeah. Now you're stuck with this.
The Celtics, by the way, remain plus 425 to win the East.
Cannot be. No way.
You cannot bet that number.
Sixers are better. Pacers are better.
Raptors
are better.
The Pacers might be better. The Cavaliers might be better.
More moves coming. Yes.
Hornets, Hawks. Don't rule that out yet.
Oh.
Plus 425. They might win the East next year. Yeah, they might make more moves. You cannot bet plus 425. That's outrageous. More on the World Cup coming up next. Jeff Borzello is going to join the program from ESPN. How much will USA miss Balogun during Monday's match with Belgium? We'll ask him coming up on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
The biggest contest we've ever seen.
Seriously, what's the guarantee?
They're still talking about it.
I think it's time to put the rumors to rest.
Showtime!
$30 million.
$30 million?
$30 million? $30 million?
That's $30 million, guaranteed. 3 contests, multiple ways to win, no rate. Entry starting at $1,000. Enter in Nevada, play from anywhere.
Elevate your sports betting game with VSiN's exclusive betting splits. Stay ahead with real-time market trends and track bet percentages on any matchup. Then uncover the edge by comparing them to the amount of bets placed to find out where the sharp money is headed. Upgrade to VSiN Pro to access betting splits, live odds, line moves, power ratings, and in-depth game analysis. Go to vsin.com/pro to join VSiN, the sports betting network.
This is VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Spain with an exquisite header during the break to go up 2-0 now as we are in the 68th minute and more now on the World Cup as we go out to the progressive guest line. Typically, when Jeff Borzello joins the program here, it's to talk a little college basketball. That's what he covers primarily at ESPN, but he loves himself some football, and he joins the program now. Hey, Jeff, thanks for the time today. How are you?
I'm doing great. I appreciate you guys having me on to talk something besides college basketball.
For sure. We'll get your thoughts on Spain overall coming up in a few minutes, but overall, how strong of an opinion do you have on that red card last night?
I thought it was harsh to send him off. I mean, it was not high, particularly high. I mean, if he did it intentionally, obviously it would have been a straight red. It was not as high as, say, Messi's from earlier in the tournament. A lot of the other, red cards we see at the club level over the past few months. I mean, it was obviously he raked down on his ankle, but it wasn't over the ball. It wasn't knee high. It obviously wasn't intentional. He wasn't looking at the player when he did it. I thought it was harsh to do it, especially given that, the ref was looking right at it and called nothing in real time. It wasn't like it was upgraded from a yellow to a red. There was no card and went straight from that to a red card. So I thought it was harsh to send him off.
Shouldn't there be an appeal process too? About is he really out for the next match as well? Can't we do something about that moving forward?
Yeah, I saw FIFA confirm last night that there's not even a mechanism for an appeal, which surprises me in a way. I mean, I don't think it would have been overturned on appeal anyway, given that VAR is the one that suggested it be a red card. But to not have any sort of, path toward even attempting an appeal just seems kind of strange to me. I mean, the Premier League obviously has appeal processes. All these other club level leagues have appeal processes. It feels strange that there's not even a process or a path to a process at the World Cup.
Well, can you explain how good Balogun has been in this tournament, how good he was last night in that match before the red card, and how much they're going to miss him? How do they replace him against Belgium?
Yeah, he's been terrific. He's been on the ascendancy for the last couple of years, playing domestically. Been terrific in France, scored 15 goals this past season, and he's just offered a threat, both running in behind defenses, and also you could play the ball to his feet, and he's beating defenders one-on-one. I mean, he probably deserved a penalty kick at some point in last night's game. I don't think it was on the one where he dribbled past the defender and fell down. And there was one where he was being grabbed by a Bosnian center back as he was going past him into the box. So he's just been a nuisance throughout the tournament. And Ricardo Pepi is the like-for-like replacement as a striker against Belgium. I do think that, and I don't know if the U.S. will do this, but I think Pulisic could play some sort of false nine role. Okay. I mean, Senegal against Belgium yesterday, they played with Ismail Assar as their striker. He's not a natural striker, but he can drop in possession. He can make runs behind. He can finish. Pulisic can do that. I think he's more dangerous when he gets ball to feet on the wing and can beat defenders one-on-one. But I would feel that U.S. is going to be more threatening with him, just kind of occupying center backs, and you can move Tillman up to the wing. You can play Brendan Aronson. You could bring on an extra midfielder. I don't think U.S. has had much of a problem creating chances. I think that their wide rotations bring fullbacks inside, having McKinney make runs from deep. I think they've been terrific in possession. It concerns me. I mean, Pepi, he has not really been in great form. And, if those chances fall to him, the chances that have fallen to Balogun should fall to Pepi. I don't know if he's finishing them. I just feel a little bit more confident using, having Pulisic with his pace, his finishing ability, his ability to occupy defenders, draw them out, and then beat them one-on-one. I think that's at least an option. Again, I don't think that Pochettino will do it, but I think it's an option.
Follow the money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network, talking World Cup, Team USA. Jeff Borzello, our guest, ESPN on the Progressive Guest Line. So USA opened up in the betting market about a pick 'em. They took a little bit of money. Surprise, surprise against Belgium. Is there a bet to be made, you think, in that match?
I think the U.S. wins 2-1.
Okay.
I think that, Belgium has not looked good all tournament.
Right.
In my opinion, it's sort of their generation after the golden generation that has always underachieved, and they're doing it again. I know they came back and beat Senegal yesterday, but if the U.S. goes with Pulisic on the wing, I think he's going to create tons of chances. I mean, Belgium's right back has been a pair of 30-plus-year-olds, which I know I'm older than them, but it's very old to be going against Pulisic in the World Cup. And then Belgium is, Jeremy Doku will cause problems for the U.S. The Belgium left winger, plays for Manchester City, incredible with the ball at his feet. But they've just been inconsistent in front of net. Lukaku is a proven goal scorer, but I think, he's not a pace guy. He's more of I'm going to be physical. I'm going to wear you down. I think the U.S., given that they play with 3 center backs, Tim Ream is not a pace guy. I think he'll be up for the physical challenge. And I just don't know if Belgium is going to be able to just create enough chances to beat the U.S. Senegal had a ton of success just making runs in with their with their wing backs, which the U.S. has 2 terrific ones in Anthony Robinson and Sergiño Dest. So I just think tactically the U.S. has an advantage. And I think the press out of possession defensively, U.S. has been terrific in terms of forcing turnovers, pushing up high. Belgium is not great building out from the back. I think they're going to cause some turnovers like they did against Bosnia and create chances that way. And that's sort of been the way the U.S. has had success. You look at the first game against Paraguay, it was we're going to press high, we're going to force turnovers, and we're going to put 5, 6, 7 guys in the final third to overload the defense. And I think that they can do that again against Belgium.
A lot of people were down on Spain with their slow start. They're up 2-0. They look fantastic. It could be 5-0. What do you think of Spain's chances moving forward?
I thought they were going to win the World Cup before the tournament, and I would still pick them. I know France has looked a lot more explosive. Obviously, they have just the best collection of attacking talent that's ever been put together at the World Cup. I know Argentina has given their path to the final, at least. I know that they're a betting favorite, but I would still pick Spain. I think that the discourse on them being a disappointment or underachieving, I think it's gone way too far. If you look at their expected goals numbers and expected goals allowed numbers, they're still better than France and Argentina when it comes to that. They have not allowed more than 1 combined expected goal yet this tournament. And we're at 3.5 games now. They've allowed 0.7 expected goals total. That's most teams will allow that in a half. So they keep the ball. They don't allow anybody to really threaten them. And I think that's the type of team, the type of system that would cause France trouble. If they just keep the ball from France, their midfield's incredible. I don't know if France is going to want to, especially those attackers, are going to want to chase the ball for 90 minutes and get back and defend for 90 minutes. They want the ball to their feet. They want to be running at the defense. And Spain will just keep the ball and not allow other teams to do that. So I still think Spain, to me, would be my pick to win it. And obviously a game against France in the semifinal, if they get there, would be probably the game of the tournament. But I don't know. I'm still in on Spain.
How about England, Mexico Sunday, where a lot of people are picking Mexico? I don't blame them, yet to concede. And Tuchel, the manager of England, comes out and said there's no way we can adapt and adjust to the elevation.
Yeah, England has been, I don't want to say the biggest disappointment of the tournament, but they have just not looked, the sum of their parts at all. They've been relying heavily on Harry Kane and Jude Bellingham for, game-winning moments, which they shouldn't have to do, given all the talent that they have at their disposal. And some of that is brought on by Thomas Tuchel, who put the squad together. And going into it, usually when a squad is announced, there's always complaints who got left out, who got included. It usually doesn't really matter. It's usually the last 2 or 3 spots on a 25-man squad, 26-man squad that don't ever end up playing. For England, I think it's a narrative. If you watch their game against Congo yesterday, they were just screaming out for someone to make a play or advance the ball, progress the ball in the middle of the field. And Tuchel left pretty much all of England's best central progressors at home: Adam Wharton, Cole Palmer, Phil Foden, all these guys that he decided were not needed at the World Cup. Yesterday was screaming out for one of them. And the injuries at right back, Declan Rice, they're kind of rocking in the middle. He just looks so tired, fatigued, and he finished the game at right back. And maybe Tuchel has to go back to that from the start against Mexico. But given the way, Mexico's first, I want to say 30 minutes against Ecuador in the first knockout game was incredible. Mm-hmm. It was just, Ecuador was a team that had not allowed multiple goals in a game since 2024. So, and Mexico did it in 30 minutes. They were just, they came out, the crowd was incredible. Right. The physicality, the pace that Mexico was playing at, it was unbelievable. And they're not going to be fearful of England. England, like you said, Tuchel came out with the comment about the altitude. That's already sort of setting we're going to be fighting an uphill battle, no pun intended, against Mexico. So I think Mexico's going to be ready to kind of try to punch England in the mouth early, and sort of like Congo did. So I would still pick England, but I have not nearly as much faith as I did 3 weeks ago.
Yeah. I think that's the way most people feel about that. Jeff,
Great answer.
Great analysis. Follow him on X at Jeff Borzello, ESPN. Thanks so much. Enjoy the rest of the matches today, and we'll talk soon.
All right, sounds good. Thanks for having me on.
Appreciate it.
You can still get Mexico to advance, by the way, at plus 125. I got to double-check Circa. I think they're even.
How about those comments? It's like he's already making the excuse.
Sounds like, hey, Erling Haaland, what's going to happen against France? They're probably going to win and then win the whole thing. Oh, okay, good. Win some, lose some next. This is how ridiculous yesterday was. They were 100-1.
You make me go loco, baby, yeah, that shit makes me crazy, yeah, that shit makes me crazy. You make me go loco, loco. You make me go loco, baby, yeah, that shit makes me crazy, yeah, that shit makes me crazy, yeah, that shit makes me. You make me go loco, baby, yeah, that shit makes me crazy, yeah, that shit makes me crazy. You make me go loco, loco. You make me go loco, baby, yeah, that shit makes me.
The party never stops at Stadium Swim.
You make me go loco, loco.
Check out Stormy and JVT on Money Moves, only on VSiN.
They are last in the division last year, and they were still 9-8, which was better than the winner of the NFC South a season ago.
My eyes have not come across English words that have said that J.J. McCarthy is killing it.
They'll take you on a fun, fast-paced journey, weaving in everything you need to know to make an educated bet, while also not shying away from the excitement of a same-game parlay sweat. Money Moves, weekdays at 2 p.m. Eastern on VSiN, the sports betting network.
Win Some, Lose Some is sponsored by the Sharp Plays.
Were you a winner last night?
Wow, winning.
Or was it a rough one?
Well, they can't all be winners, can they?
Loser! You're a loser! Paulie Howard recaps the night in sports betting in Win Some, Lose Some.
An all-time comeback yesterday. Belgium, Senegal, draw plus 220. Draw was 18-1 in play. Belgium was 40-1 to win, down 2-0. They were 11-1 to qualify in the 70th minute. 2-2 exact score was 14-1. To win in extra time was 12-1. To score on a penalty, ridiculous VAR gets involved, 6-1. USA, Bosnia, Balogun first goal plus 380. Red card plus 550. 2-0 exact score plus 550. How about the Tillman goal, which we didn't talk about? What? Oh,
I actually wanted to ask Borzello last segment, didn't have time. If that's like, where does that rank all time?
What a shot
for USA.
The score outside the box, 15-1, and I thought we were in a lot of trouble. I thought we could still hold them off down a man, but to outscore them, and for that shot to go in by Tillman, exquisite.
Bosnia had a couple of good looks late. They just came up a little bit. They fired some shots at the keeper, and they just happened to miss.
Yep. I couldn't find it because the menu didn't go that far down, but he was listed. The highest odds available yesterday at DraftKings, Jaylen Brown was 100-1 to go to Philadelphia.
There you go.
Check out what state you're in, but that's offered on all the players, and a big move at Paulie Market and others on LeBron to Cleveland today.
Who saw that one coming, by the way? There was never one reporter who said, watch out for the Sixers.
Well, it's also your rival who just took you out in the first round.
I know.
Who would think they'd do that? And for that guy with the second worst contract, arguably in the NBA, which I'll get to.
For Paul George.
Conforto, 2 bombs, 54-1. Swanson was 47-1 with 2.
What do you think he was
even
for 3?
Who knows? Didn't even see
200-1?
Yeah, it had to be.
Probably not even offered.
Yeah, also Win Some, Follow the Money. We told you 2 weeks ago. These states get it right. Set your AC to 78 degrees. New York, South Carolina, right? People freaking out. No, 78, that's the way to go.
Sure.
That's good. Comfortable.
You're going to be okay at 78. You're going to be just fine.
Subscribe, be part of the team. VSiN.com, our radio and podcast friends. Give me the volume here. This gal lives in the South. She's got two or three great dogs, Bama and Barkley. They got in a little fight here. Here, break it up.
You know what? You know what? You know what?
Look at the spots. Look at the coats.
That is awesome. That's Barkley and Bama. She's got a couple dogs, though. I know the look. It's like you dumped ice cream on them.
Oh.
How good they look. And
you could probably get $25,000 for those dogs if you wanted.
Yes. That's my favorite line, too. That's just, you know what? Okay. You know what? You're in timeout now. You know. As Barkley likes to wrestle with him as he's tried to steal his harness from Alabama. That's excellent. That's up. She's got her great feature on Instagram. And this, look at we're going to need a montage.
Oh, man.
How about the montage of the first goal? All over Kansas City, Southern California.
Atlanta, D.C.
Oh, yeah.
They were just coming in. I tweeted this out earlier today at Mitch Moss Radio. I can't get enough of it.
Right. I think it's always been there, but we've sucked.
Yeah,
but
sure.
Now that we're good, and we got a shot here now, you're seeing it.
Oh, I can't get enough. Paul, this is going to be, if they make a run to the semis, or God forbid they actually play in the final, it's going to make the Knicks winning, it's going to be 10, 15, 20 times bigger than that.
Yeah, Friday's your big boy. If we beat Belgium, we play Friday at 3 Eastern against, Spain or Portugal, possibly?
One time.
Right? Yeah.
One time.
Lose some, Celtics. Paul George is 36. He's due $55 and $56 million each the next 2 years. You also... Remember, you don't call that. You had to attach a first-round pick to move him.
Yeah,
that's another great point about this. That they didn't get much. That's how bad the contract is.
That's another thing, by the way, about the Hoop Collective podcast with Windhorse and Bobby Marks. So they're breaking it down, and then Windy and McMahon basically go to Marks. They essentially got nothing in return. And Bobby Marks says, yeah, they got like nothing in return.
Yeah. It was kind of like what people thought with John Morant. In order to move him, you had to put a first-round pick on it. Senegal plus 250 and Senegal to qualify. A moose in that match. Horrific beat. Circa football contests are open. Don't have to live in Vegas to play. Winner Circle Proxy, a VSiN preferred proxy service. One trip to Vegas. Play all season long from anywhere. Schedule your appointment now. WinnerCircleProxy.com. After your required in-person registration, they handle your weekly submission so you can make your picks from anywhere in the country.
I told you right away during the World Cup that I got the fever. The only prescription was more BTTS. So watching this like every single day throughout now for a few weeks, I wanted to go back with Lorraine and start watching Ted Lasso. A couple of reasons. Season 4 is coming out, I think, in August. And
that soon?
I think it's in August, yeah.
Too much going on. Wow.
Well, I know that. And also, I made the comment a couple of weeks ago, like, is it really as good as we remember, or was it the perfect show for the pandemic?
I like season 1. I thought it fell off.
We have watched a couple of episodes I think we're 6 episodes deep now into season 1, doing it all this week. I got to tell you, it's as good as I remember. It's phenomenal, season 1. But
I like Sudeikis a lot. Oh, no.
Is that another goal? That's too easy.
Oh, God, there's the over.
And that's 2 for their main striker. And I know he was a betting target for some in the Golden Boot. I want to say that he has now 4 in the tournament.
There's another one in the 89th minute, right in your ear. The late goals will not stop.
Well, do they allow one here in the soon-to-be stoppage time? Because, again, to win to nil was popular, but they have looked awesome today.
Oh, yes.
Really good.
Absolutely.
I can't wait to see the expected goals in this match.
What do you think of Philadelphia now? And it's just wild to look at the East odds. Like some books are just listing a plethora of teams at 8-9 to 1, where you still worry about their bench. And certainly Embiid's only going to play half the games, but Edgecombe, Embiid, Jaylen Brown.
Did I mention that earlier in the show?
I forgot Maxey.
Did they not? I got to double check this right now. I think they added Simons today.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, okay. That's a 2-year, $12.3 million deal.
You lose Oubre, you lose Grimes.
So they basically got him in the deal with the Celtics as well, if you want to say that. But he's a nice bench player. I got to tell you, last year it felt like it was wide open at this time, and we were making the case, take a shot, take a stab with somebody, right?
Mm-hmm.
This year, I have no idea which team that would be. Oh. And I think that, honestly, the Sixers now look kind of attractive, but I think you got to like the Knicks and the Raptors at this point. And your team, the Pacers. And I think that's something that we're going to see right away from Halliburton. If he, like, even in the preseason, if he comes back and it looks like the same Halliburton, why can't the Pacers be really, really good next year?
Absolutely bananas, right? Pacers, Knicks are going to be awesome. Boston takes a big step back. What's Philly going to look like? Kawhi goes to Toronto. They were the 5 seed. What if LeBron goes to Cleveland? The Heat get Giannis goes to the Heat.
Remember, Atlanta beat the Knicks twice in that series.
Yeah.
Maybe there's something there.
Depth. Can Charlotte pull off a big move?
I don't care. At this point,
too much.
Who would it be?
Wow,
for?
It's wild. I still say the Pacers. You're right, because he also added Zubac as well.
Yeah, right. The Lakers now, there was a report that came out earlier today. Kuminga, what could happen to him?
Let's see what Anthony says coming up.
Yeah.
Can they get Kuminga? Can they keep Rui?
Make that happen?
Make it look better somehow? They can play with the numbers and keep Rui and add maybe one more guy, but it's...
Oh, that's another player, by the way. Don't we think if Rui doesn't go bad, they can't keep him at all? Isn't Hachimura like a pretty nice addition to a damn good team in the league?
Yeah, he's a good player. He can score.
Absolutely he is.
Yep. But now it's how the NBA has changed and getting away from super teams, and maybe you can only pay one star a ton of money. I don't know if this will be how we go in the future. Look what the Lakers did. Although Reeves makes a lot of money, but he's not a superstar. And what Boston just did.
Well, here's one for you. I compared Oklahoma City, like up to date right now, in the last couple of years to what Boston looked like 10 years ago when they had all these assets. If I could bet on this somehow, like will Presti screw it up in similar fashion to Boston, I would say no way.
Yeah.
I think Oklahoma City is going to have more to show for it than Boston.
Right. Danny Ainge did a nice job, but Danny Ainge was too stubborn. He just refused to get that superstar and give up the picks.
Mm-hmm.
And it blew up in their face the last 10 years. 11. One title with that treasure chest you had, that wart. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. And so I'm surprised at that. I will be more surprised if Oklahoma City... Boston only played for 2 titles, by the way. If Oklahoma City only wins 1 and they only play in 2, I will be floored by that.
And everyone doing a 180 on Brad Stevens. That's the other one.
Could have had Giannis. Could have had the Greek Freak for Jaylen Brown and not much more than that.
I remember what he said, though, at the end of the year. We can't keep playing this way. This 53s has got to stop.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it worked in the regular season, but then you saw what happened in the postseason.
Although
Paul George was great. Maybe the suspension helped out, but Paul George was awesome against Jaylen Brown, and a big reason why they came back down 3-1.
Well, I got to tell you, if they value Derek White and they think Peyton Pritchard can make a leap like Jalen Brunson, that tells me that the three-point shot's not going to go anywhere. Those two guys will take 10, 12 a game each. Anthony Irwin on the program coming up next. Covers the Lakers in Southern California. We'll get into their offseason. Are they